Right, so this is Dr. Michael Allenski. We're very, very pleased to have with us this evening.
Hello.
Who's our resident zombie expert, who's agreed to answer a few questions. And any question you want to put to him about zombies, he's going to be able to answer for you. So yeah, perhaps you could tell us, Doctor, about the origins of zombies, how zombies came about.
Well, of course, the zombies, as we know them, first appeared, I think in the 1920s. It became apparent when many explorers from Europe and America visited Haiti and discovered there were many witch doctors there.
Mm-hmm.
And they recalled needing workers, essentially slaves.
Yep.
And the witch doctors would cast spells on poor innocent young villagers, and when they died, they appeared to die naturally. But of course, the very next day, the villagers would discover that the graves had opened and the bodies had gone. And the witch doctors used these people as their slaves to gain power and wealth and generally keep the rest of the populace very frightened. And of course, what is a better slave than one you cannot literally work to death? Very dead. In the late 60s, there was a particular meteor shower which caused a whole wave of zombies to naturally rise from the dead. They formed, many of them were blue. They didn't look quite so much like this zombie here. They had bluish flesh because they were so decomposed. And they shuffled about. And they didn't seem to be a terror at first because obviously in farmland areas such as Prickwillow, there's a lot of space and zombies move very slowly due to their decomposed nature. And you can see them coming quite easily, which means you can either run away, as they move very slowly, they cannot catch you, or you can get some sort of a weapon to defend yourself. As time has gone on, these zombies have changed somewhat. You get the more decomposed zombie, of course, such as this one. And all they need to do is bite you, or indeed, if you get any of their blood in your mouth, you will also become a zombie. They've got a nasty, nasty sense to them, these zombies. Many believe that the modern zombie is actually fueled by rage, as sort of an undead spirit that just possesses them and makes them very angry. And it's even been known for some modern zombies to start running, which
that's a bit of a worrying development, really.
It's a very worrying development because no longer obviously can you hop away from them. You quite literally have to defend yourself.
So, what's the best way to protect yourself from a zombie attack?
Well, there are lots of different ways. It could be as simple as having a very long stick, for example. You can just keep them away from you at arm's distance. The only worrying part of a zombie is that the teeth. You need to prevent them from biting you. So if you can restrain them in any way, then you will be safe.
But they gang up on you, don't they?
Well, this of course is the problem. Zombies tend to attack you en masse. So it's very difficult to run away from a crowd of people. You can run one way, and all of a sudden you'll find people coming towards you from that way. So the best thing to do is to find a nice secure area, a large house, but you need it to be strongly defended. Zombies are creatures of nature, so they cannot open a door. It's pure instinct. They work on pure instinct and appear to be driven purely by the need to eat flesh.
I thought it was just brains though. Is it flesh as well?
No, human flesh. They're particularly fond of the innards. The gizzard, I understand, is a particular favourite of the zombies. It's just a desire for them to naturally eat flesh, and that's all that drives them. They do have some senses. They can be attracted by smell, so they can smell you, particularly if you're bleeding. If you've picked up a cut, you must be very careful, because they will smell it and they will come for you.
Is there any way to disguise your scent or put them off the trail?
Yes, indeed. Many people have discovered that when the zombies have had terrible results, and killed many people, the only way to defend yourself for the survivors is to actually get zombies that have managed to be stopped, tear them to pieces, and rub their effluent all over your body, which then covers your natural aroma and hides you from the zombies. Now, you can get many weapons to defend yourself from zombies, many different weapons, but one of the other problems is that zombies have a very good sense of hearing. So, for example, if you have a gun, you could shoot a zombie. You would have to, of course, hit it in the brain, because that is the only way to stop a zombie. You have to destroy the head. Even if you cut its head off, if you haven't destroyed the brain, the head can still bite you, and it will still try. So yes, you need to be very careful. But if you shot said zombie, the other zombies will hear the gunshot and they will be attracted, because we don't exactly know why, but they're aware of humanity as a whole. I don't know if it's an old memory of being alive, but they seem to recognise the sounds of life. So if they saw a light in a window, they heard talking or shouting, or indeed, as I say, a gunshot, this would draw all the zombies in the area closer towards you.
And the zombie apocalypse is a real fear for many people at the moment. What's the best way to prepare for the zombie apocalypse?
Well, of course, the zombie apocalypse is very nearly upon us. We know this for a fact. It is coming, and so the only thing we can do is set up little bases. An underground bunker is considered to be a good one. The only problem is, of course, if they manage to break into said bunker, you have no escape routes if you're underground. So really, somewhere you can protect, get a nice link fence, maybe a nice farm with a big strong fence around it, or maybe even, as we're talking about the apocalypse, maybe you could find a nice prison to stay in. It'd be nice and cosy, somewhere with high walls. Ely Cathedral would also be an excellent place.
You see them coming.
And you can see them coming for miles, indeed, yes.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Is there any questions?
I've got a question. Is it known that zombies have any diversions? I mean, do they get, when they're out in pursuit of human flesh, they must get really bored. I mean, do they have any hobbies or diversions?
Well, that's interesting to say. They do like to record music videos, I understand, with prominent American pop stars, now sadly deceased, I understand. And of course, you have a variant of a zombie known as the mummy, and that absolutely adores to go after princesses, particularly ancient princesses, as it loves to chat them up, as it were, and look after them. I can't think of any other things that they like to do at the moment.
Do they feel guilty? Do they have any remorse about tearing humans apart?
Well, it's interesting you should say that. The longer they stay around, the more they seem to change, and some people do think that the zombies have a residual awareness that they used to have when they were alive. Some, for example, have been known to try to recreate their previous jobs that they had in life when they were alive. Many will go to shopping centres and mill about in the shops, much as they would do of a weekend.
And there are a few lawyers as well, aren't there?
I thought there's a lot more
This
in
has
their
been
revenue.
This has been filmed, isn't it?
That's going strangely. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I'm sure I've spoken to a few down at the tax office. So.
You have a question, sir?
Do zombies like sleep in any kind?
Well, as far as we are aware, zombies never sleep.
And there's another thing. Do they have anything like a disguise? So in the day, they could just like put a disguise on so they look exactly like a human. So then they like have a job or something.
Well, of course, zombies have been known to cross rivers. They could hide in ponds, and of course, if they're covered in water, all the blood that they're covered in washes off. So they do look very real. So you have to be very careful if you're near water. Very careful indeed. Very close.
Just reach out from a lake
Well,
as you're walking
indeed.
past.
And could go swimming in a lake. You could feel something grab your leg from under the water, and it could drag you down behind you. But you would definitely be finished.
I'm not going swimming anymore. Cancel my swimming lesson.
I don't think they go to the paradise pool. Do they go to the paradise pool?
Chlorine is very anti. It's very good for keeping zombies out. Don't like chlorine.
What employment opportunities are there available for a zombie? Within normal run things, you know?
Well, yeah, as slaves, they were ideal for working in the fields in Haiti. That was why the witch doctors liked to use them. They would gather all the crops. I should imagine that in a less third world climb, they could work perfectly in a factory or a supermarket. So
The NHS is quite good, actually.
Advertising, accountancy.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
I
could
saw some
think of the
judges,
ideal
actually.
judges.
Yeah.
Judges would be perfect because they're all spoiled and nearly dead.
Yeah, I think they've done some of them up. I did wonder.
Is that Judge Pickles?
That's what they were wigs, isn't it, to hide all the bruises and all
yes,
the...
the skull is falling apart.
Yeah.
Is there any safe way of telling whether somebody is a zombie or not? Because you might make a mistake. Somebody might look a bit like a zombie, but actually not be one.
Well,
And then when you've shot them through the head, it's too late.
Yeah, it's embarrassing
True.
to do that.
The main problem when zombies first started was that people didn't know that as soon as you'd been bit, you were finished. You would turn into a zombie. It could take a little while, it could take a day, it could take only a couple of days for your turn. So that was a big problem back in the day. Some believe that if you were bitten on your arm, if the arm was removed quickly enough, you might be saved. But there's not enough research into the subject to prove it one way or the other.
There's a question over there.
Ah, yes, sir.
Do zombies speak except for going,
Well, there are lots of different zombies. Some
Something like piping to the bar. That's good.
most zombies tend not to talk, but there are some zombies who like brains, and they only eat brains. It's their favourite. I love it.
Do zombies
Other
eat?
than yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, are there zombies of all ages?
you can get zombies of all ages. There have been even shocking reports of women near to giving birth who've been bitten, and unfortunately the child has come out as a zombie when it's born, which is not very nice, obviously. And